Hello BookTube, I'm here today with another video. Today I'm here to talk about the top LGBT plus cliches that I hate in fiction. Now, a lot of authors are including LGBT plus characters in fiction now, which is great. However, a lot of times when they do it, they are riddled with cliches. And if you're an author and if you're thinking of writing a character, pause and consider if any of your characters who are gay or bisexual or transgender have any of these character traits. And if they do, don't write them. Now, these grievances are in no particular order, so let's get started. Number 1, the promiscuous bisexual character. Now, this happens all the time. Now, this wasn't in the Game of Thrones books, but it was in the Game of Thrones TV show. Particularly the characters from Dorne are, a lot of the characters are bisexual, and they'll be sleeping with men and with women, and they'll just say that they have no distinction because lust is lust. Now, I'm sure there are some people like that, but most bisexual people are just regular people and have no greater libido than anyone else. Number 2 is the cliche that homosexual people can't contain their urges. Now this was portrayed in The Miniaturist. Now just because someone is gay or homosexual doesn't mean that they have any less control over their urges than anyone else. People have different levels of libido just like everyone else. In fact, a lot of gay people have gotten even better at containing their urges than straight people because it hasn't been safe for them to be gay. I'm just so sick and tired of this cliche because it's part of this overarching narrative that gay people are somehow less in control of themselves or somehow more animalistic or primal, or more likely to be depraved than heterosexual people. So this one needs to stop. The third cliche is one that happens all the time, even in well-meaning fiction, and it is when a person is bisexual, particularly a female character, just for the sake of appearing hot. This is one that I particularly am really annoyed at and really hate. People are bisexual just because they are bisexual, not because they want attention or because they want to garner more interest in the opposite sex. If you personally think the idea of two women getting it on is attractive, good for you. But that doesn't mean that all bisexual people or bisexual women out there are purposely doing it just to tempt you, or purposely doing it just to entice or seduce you. This happens all the time, especially when an author is trying to include more diverse characters in fiction, and so they'll just throw in a random bisexual character, and then never have that character ever have any interactions with the same sex, and just say that they're bisexual. And yeah, it's pretty darn annoying. Number 4, the evil satanic gay man, especially the gay man who is a rapist and or pedophile. For this, the most obvious example is one that's not from fiction, but from television, and that is Thomas of Downton Abbey. I'm going to say it again, just because you have a gay character doesn't mean that your book includes diversity, especially if that gay character is literally evil. Thomas from Downton Abbey is just a terrible person. He's a manipulator, and he does things consistently for his own gain, and he throws other people under the bus constantly just to get ahead. And yes, he is also gay, but and I have a lot of other problems with Downton Abbey, but this is the one that's relevant to this video. And just because you throw in a gay character doesn't mean that your book is diverse or your TV show is diverse. You have to have a fully rounded gay character, and if you have the gay character be the villain, then it doesn't really count. Because gay men are already portrayed as depraved so many other times, and especially in homophobic propaganda. So you're actually contributing to this narrative that gay men are all villains. Number 5. Indulgent, pandering lesbian sex. Now, lesbians have sex for all different reasons, but they don't do it to make heterosexual men feel horny. I'm really tired of this. I'm really tired of, women pleasuring women, not for the sake of pleasuring women, but just for the sake of seducing men. It's annoying and it needs to stop. Number 6. Cross-dressing lesbians. Now, I'm not saying cross-dressing lesbians don't exist, because they certainly do, and I don't want to erase their experience. I'm just saying that if you're going to write a cross-dressing character, does that character really have to be a lesbian as well? Because this can be done well, as it was done in Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters. I really enjoyed that book. It wasn't the best book that I've read, but I did like it, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I read about 2 years ago, and I'm planning to read more of her work, like The Fingersmith. But, oh my gosh, if you're going to include one gay character, does it also have to be the cross-dressing character? That's just too easy. This happens in Once Upon a Time, in Mulan. Mulan, obviously, we've all are familiar with the story. Mulan dresses up as a man to take her father's place in the army, and so that he doesn't have to be conscripted, and she fights the war in his place and becomes a war hero. However, in Once Upon a Time, they make the cross-dressing woman, a lesbian, and they make her fall in love with Aurora. Now, this would have been far more interesting if Aurora fell in love with Mulan, or if she fell in love with another character, because really, do we really have to have the cross-dressing woman being a lesbian as well? Because there's already so many stereotypes about lesbians, and one of them is that they're all just cross-dressing men, or that they all just want to be men secretly. So this contributes to this overarching narrative, and it's really frustrating. The last cliche is if you are claiming to write a gay character, but there's no evidence that they actually are gay. For example, Dumbledore. Albus Percival Wilfrid Brian Dumbledore. Yes, I am going there. I am criticizing Harry Potter. Don't get me wrong, I adore Harry Potter, but really, J.K. Rowling, if you are going to make a gay character, you need to commit, you need to go all the way, and you need to actually make them gay. Now, if you're going to create an intentionally celibate gay character, like saying they're struggling with their religious upbringing, go ahead and do that. But they have to actually be gay. And if you're not just going to include the evidence that they're gay, then what's even the point? You're just doing it for the sake of throwing in diversity so that you can claim your book is diverse. Now, some people could argue that because Dumbledore was in love with Grindelwald, there is some evidence of it in the book, but I would say that it's never really fully portrayed. It's only hinted at that he was in love with Grindelwald, and so it's not enough. I need more evidence. So those are my top cliches regarding LGBT plus characters, or as I like to call them, quilt bag characters. And let me know what yours are down in the comments, and if you even have some cliches that you don't mind. Yeah, let me know also what you're doing for Pride Month, if you're going to any Pride parades or reading any Pride literature. I'm also going to do a Pride book tag coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, let me know if there are any books or TV shows or movies or anything like that that are guilty of any of these cliches, and if you find them as frustrating as I do. Have a good day, everyone. Bye, BookTube. And for the record, yes, I am bisexual.